Welcome to another episode of Sweat Equity, athletic leadership and development platform. I'm here with the host, because I didn't get it right last time. I apologize to you publicly. I apologize. With Dr. Pittman Kennedy. So you go.
Yes. Hey, good afternoon, brother. It's always a great pleasure to have this discussion. I want to thank you for the time, the opportunity, and we're looking forward to a healthy and healthy discussion.
Well, before we start, I always like to make sure we get everything out of the way. I don't forget anything. The very first thing I want to start with here, we have a book behind us, and I want to go right into the meat and potatoes of this book because I didn't read it, but I did audio book this. This is a good read or listen to.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about this book.
So this is called
and the whole purpose of it.
Think and Grow Rich. This is a worldwide bestseller by Napoleon Hill. And again, the original edition came out in 1937, but it's so profound and real today. And it just talks about different means by which you could help develop yourself. When we talk about richness here, he's not only equipping rich to money.
Yes.
But you want to be rich in your mind, rich in your thoughts, rich in your behavior, rich in your character, rich in your processes. Everything that you operate with should be that of a rich nature. But obviously, when you use your mind and put your thought in the right position, riches can never evade you. It will be part of your daily norm. So it's a great read, and go ahead and I suggest that people read this book, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill.
Real quick, my thought process on that book and what I got from it, one of the things was in the book, he tells you to be consistent. He's one of the first people to let you know to be successful in life, you have to be consistent in anything you do. From when you get up to making your bed, to take time out, to meditate, to get your thoughts together, to write them down, to playing. And honestly, when I followed those rules and those things to allow me to be successful, they all worked to a T.
Yes, man. I'm glad you say that because when I do my morning runs and I do this video, one of the things I keep foot stomping is consistency.
Yes.
So if I can recall, there's 5 C's that I use in success. Okay, one, you have to be concise. Okay, not too elaborate. You have to be compelling. You have to be consistent. You have to be committed. And there's another one I would think about it. But there's 5 C's that make you. You got to be clear. Yes, you got to be clear in your goals, clear, concise, so where it's not elaborated. And then you got to be compelling, make it argumentative, make it compelling, and then consistent. You got to be consistent, and then you got to be committed to it.
Yes.
Whatever it is that you engage in. So many rules. These things. I would tell people that there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that we need to be successful, God has given it to us. We just got to sit back, take the time, think, and extract and implement them. Yeah.
Well, I just like the fact, now leave it alone, is that book's from 1937 and still is known as a bestseller. Yeah. I believe that in the Bible is probably the best too. Books I've listened and read in the last few years to really just kind of keep us on goal and focused on what's going on, especially for me, the fact that I left the military.
Yeah.
The military did all that before, and now, as we consider ourselves gatekeepers to this basketball thing here in San Antonio, Liberia, the rest of the parts of the United States. Let's kind of dive into what does it take to be a true athlete?
Man, a true athlete requires so many variables, right?
Right.
One is make sure you have a purpose. What is your purpose as an athlete? What are you trying to accomplish? All right. Once you understand that, then you can find a direction as to how you're going to get there. And that's where you're going to need this tool set of discipline. Again, commitment, consistency, accountability, right? You must have great work ethic. You must be resilient. Then above all, you must have the right attitude. Attitude is the umbrella that encompasses and encloses everything. All right, without the right attitude, you are not going to achieve your goals. And I will talk about attitude throughout this evening's conversation because attitude is that umbrella, is that seed that holds everything, that glue that holds everything. Because for instance, this morning, right, you probably wanted to go get a workout, but sometimes the body tell you, no, I'm tired. It's that attitude of mind that said, look, I'm going to push, right? It's that attitude of mind that said, look, if I do the extra lap, I will reach my goal. It's that attitude of mind that said, look, I don't like the task that's been levied upon me, but I'm going to do it because it's a greater good at the other end. It's that attitude of mind, you know. It is said that people achieve success or failures largely because the attitude of mind, more so than the mental capacity, the mental ability. Okay, it's the attitude of mind. You have to have that mindset, that strong attitude, that positive attitude. So yeah, those are some of the things that make an athlete successful. But let me say one thing. When we talk about athlete, we're not just talking about the player as themselves. The coach in himself is an athlete. The parent themselves, okay? Once you have an athlete, all hands on deck, that whole entire support system have to think along that athlete's mindset. Because when that athlete falls short, right, in running that lap, who pushes him? The coach, the teammate, somebody, the family member, that encouragement. So we all have to think in a synchronous manner.
And that's what I was going to try to chime in with, and you did it because you break it down so well, is the support system.
Yeah.
Yes, the athlete has to do his own thing, but outside of the athlete and what he needs to become and trying to do, you still need that support system. And you nailed it all with the coach, the family, the teammates, and we forget that sometimes because as we're trying to be the best athlete or best this, we forget we need that support system.
But why do we need a support system? Why is it important to elaborate, to illuminate the support system? Why?
Well, you need that because, like you said already, it's going to be days that I'm not going to want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to want to get up. and that's why, like for me, I always use you as my accountability partner. To where when I don't want to do something, I know if I call you, you'll put a fire under my butt and be like, hey, what are you doing? Why are we not there? Why are we not doing this? And we need that sometime. And it's not to say, hey, you're better than me or anything like that, but it's to say, hey, I know you're going to hold me accountable. And you have no problem telling me, hey, I'm wrong at something or right at something. But at the same time, I need that other person to keep me going and keep me focused. And that's what that support system is supposed to be.
Yeah, so I'm going to extend that. You're exactly right. But here's the thing that a lot of times people, the greater audience, they miss this part, right? So we have an athlete that performing at a very high level. It's like you go to a mango tree. I love mangoes. Ripe, red, and orange. It's sweet, and it attracts everybody instantaneously, right?
Right.
But how many people are looking at what goes beyond that? The growing process, the nurturing process. So it's similar to an athlete. When the lights are on at night, we're excited. We want this guy to get 30 points, 10 assists, a couple of rebounds, a few rebounds, some defensive stop, assists, the complete occupation of the stat sheet. But here's the thing what people don't see. That's just the end of it.
Yes.
That's just that mango, that orange, fresh mango. What they don't see is the hours of work, the commitment to taking care of the body, right? The requisite amount of sleep at night, the rest, the mentality, all those pieces is what focuses or contributes to this well-rounded athlete. And sometimes the larger audience don't see that because those things are done in the dark. I will argue this: the success that's shown on the court is a fraction of what it took to get there.
Correct.
So it backs back to that process we talk about. There has to be a certain respect for the gestation period, the process. The process is so much underappreciated. We need to understand the process. So when you talk about being a superior athlete and you don't have this kind of mindset, then you have a long way to go and a lot to learn.
You do, and that's where it gets kind of tricky sometimes because we kind of get them in there and the old saying, hey, if he's the best 7th grader, at best he's just that when he turns into the 8th grade.
He goes to the 8th grade.
He's not the best 8th grader.
And I took that from Coach John Lucas. So I'll take a minute to talk about that man. In 2014, I was a trainer. I used to train with a lot of coons, and I believe that if my son could get so many crossover dribbles, and that was a sensation for YouTube and Facebook at the time. And I saw value in there, but there was very little value in there. And fortunately for me, as a young trainer coming out, learning the aspect of training and understanding how it should translate to the game itself, I met Coach John Lucas and gave me an opportunity to come under his wings and work on his staff. And it's been since 2014. It's 9 years. Next year will be 10 years since I worked with this man. And I'm talking about maybe 4 or 5 camps a year. And the amount of knowledge, the evolution, the growth, that I have acquired just being in that ecosystem of high-level basketball minds have transformed my knowledge of the game. And but he said that the best 7th grader in the whole world is going to go to the 8th grade next year. And that is so true. And that kind of put these kids back on the ground level to say, look, continuous progress and development is essential for you to be successful in your walk.
And that's why I'm going to kind of piggyback on that also and say everybody's path to success of being the best athlete is not the same. The same path that you might have went on is not the same path that I should take. Now, we still need the same tools and the resources. But again, playing all year round AAU basketball might not be good for you, but it might be good for me.
Yeah.
Because one, you gotta look at the whole package, and I think that's where we fall short sometimes with our athletes. We don't look at the whole package of that athlete, and we don't look at what is and you said it first, the whole purpose. Because the athlete has to have that mindset first.
Of course.
And that's where we fall short. I know, as we do the AAU and we train and we see this, and a lot, to me, this last year, I believe a lot more parents want the outcome versus the child.
Yes.
The player don't want the outcome. The player just like, hey, I'm just having fun. I get to hang out with you every day, and then we get to kick it a little bit and go variety places here in the United States. But at the end result, I don't want it as bad as my parents want.
Yeah.
How do you fix that part, or how do you adjust, or how do you explain it to some of the parents?
It's one of the most challenging things. It takes a level of elite maturity to accomplish that, to even get to convince the parents to see that your definition of success may not be what the child wants. And a lot of time when our athletes are younger, we think that we know the answer and we have the answer and we almost can predict where they're going to be. But that's so far from the truth, because their commitment level may not be there. In fact, their commitment level may not be there because they don't understand the undertaking that's required for them to accomplish such goals. So credit to Coach John Lucas again, bringing me into his ecosystem of great college minds. And then you listen to something called storylines, because storylines are so important. So I listened to a story about the late great Kobe Bryant, how he was working out one morning at 4 a.m. in California, and he was going through the same drill for about 2 hours, just a jab, step, pull up, jab, step, pull up. And I guess it was Alan Stein or one of these guys that asked him the question, hey, Kobe, why do you do the same move so long? And he said, I'm paraphrasing it based on the way I understood the story, you never get bored with the basics. So the reason I'm telling you that is a lot of times as parents, as coaches, as adults, we always kind of sell a false dream to these kids, underplaying the process that requires. And a lot of times the young athletes are not committed to that process. So again, like I was saying, if you ask a kid, go to a particular drill, go right 3 times, switch left, pull up jumper. Right at number 3, most of the kids, majority of the kids are going to stop. And if you, the coach, is engaged in another conversation, they're going to sit there and wait for you to instruct the next move. Yep. Versus keep going for extra laps. So again, I was at a John Lucas camp down in Louisville, Kentucky in 2014. This was my first year working with the high school kids. There was a young man by the name of Thon Maker. I think he was a senior or junior at that time, maybe a junior. And this kid was going to be projected in the NBA draft. So I watched his work ethic and everything. So when we would give him a water break, Thon Maker would run to the line at where the water cooler was, and he would jog in place and try to get back to the front of the line for workouts. And the question was asked, why do you do that? He said, because I get more reps. You see, when you get more reps, when you repeatedly do what the things that are good and you do them over and over, that repetition is what leads to excellence. And excellence is what evolves you to the next level. So it was no surprise that he was a lottery pick that year, played in the NBA and things like that. But when you watch great athletes or great human beings, success leaves clues.
Yes.
Look at the work habits. Look at the regimen, the battle. Try to understand, take a deeper dive, and you will soon find that you will extract some things. You don't have to take everything, but a few things you take away will transform your life.
Yes. And I find it, and that, again, it goes all the way back to consistency.
Yeah.
And that's where it all starts. And again, that's why I love that, because I remember when I first got here to San Antonio, the fact that I was an outsider trying to do basketball, I was not allowed. I was outside. I stuck with it. Year 2, year 3, year 4, everyone gets to know me, know who we are now, know that, hey, we have a really good program. And with that being said, I had some good opportunities. I got a chance to meet you and work with you. I got a chance to work out at the Sportsplex for a while. So again, all the good things that came with it became because of what? Being consistent. Having a good name, making sure, we paid all of our bills, and I laugh at that part, but that stuff is so important, because again, if you don't have the right structure in place to allow athletes to be successful, then all you're doing is setting them up for failure.
That's correct. And I'll extend that a little bit. The mutual respect we have for each other, because there's so many similarities that we can see with us. We both. Again, credit to the military, albeit we went Army, Air Force, but still we are both senior non-commissioned officers in our respective services. So there's a level of training, there's a level of leadership, there's a level of discipline that's come with that piece right there. But more importantly, I always tell people, I tell my athletes and I tell everybody, you're always on stage all the time. Whether you know it or not, people are watching you, and people will gravitate towards value, towards excellence, towards quality, towards character. So it's always important that you practice these things, because you see, people form habits.
Yes.
And habits is what create futures.
Yes.
So your future that you have today, you can rewind it back to your habits. That's why it is said that we are all self-made. All right. Only the successful people are made to that. We're all self-made though, because of our habits. So it's important that you form the habit. So you have a habit of excellence that I saw. I exuded certain habits that you saw.
Yes.
And even to this day, people call me all the time and say, "Hey, so and so want me to work with, want me to talk to you to work with my kid." And I always ask them. Sometimes it's you. Sometimes it's the owner of the sporting facility, and you come with recommendation. Case in point, the NBA. Top 100 boys camp, asked Coach John Lucas for habits. It's important. You're always on stage. A couple of years ago, I got a call to work the NBA Players Association Top 100 camp down in Orlando, Florida. I don't get that call if Coach John Lucas don't recommend me. Coach John Lucas don't recommend me if I haven't shown him that I'm a professional,
yep.
I'm committed, I'm going to give you hard work, character, and all those things, because me going down there offer his recommendation as a representation of him as a professional, and this man is well respected, in the basketball arena at the highest level. So again, those are the small things that we can point to, that we can give credit to ourselves for consistently exuding great character and good habits.
So we're gonna wrap it up, but before we wrap it up, give me 3 to 5 values or characteristics that an athlete should have or should be working on to have to become or to look for excellence.
Again, I talk about attitude, and I'll show you real quick. Attitude is the only word in the dictionary that amounts to 100. I got it on this piece of paper. A is 1. The letter T is 20. Number 20 in the alphabet.
Correct.
The letter T is 20, so that's 41. The letter I is 9. That's 50. The letter T is 20. That's 70. The letter U is 21. That's 91. The letter D is 40. The letter E is 5. Attitude equals 100. So the first and most important thing is to have the right attitude. They need to work hard. They need to have high character. They need to be disciplined, and then academically they need to be sound. So those are 5. I could go on and on, but I will say this before I chime off. is that we're looking forward to coming to Liberia in December. We got a slew of things going on. We are looking forward to doing a high school tournament that already in the works. We got the 8 high schools committed. We're working on, we got the location locked in. We got some great sponsors. SS Media is one of them.
Yep.
And we're also doing a clinic, an elite developmental clinic right after the tournament. We're also looking at doing a developmental platform outside of basketball where we talk about leadership, academics, character. They're going to talk to the young ladies about, hygiene, both the young men and women, a whole bunch of good stuff. We're looking at doing something for our scholarship recipients and our young people. So the trip to Liberia in December is looking even more powerful and ambitious. So over to you.
Well, one, we want to just say, hey, thank you again for allowing us to be part of the Liberia transformation / working to improve not just the sports there, of course, but again, education and just the mindset of just how trying to get kids out of the poverty and to want to be rich in the mind. So we definitely are happy to be part of this, and any parts of, like I always tell you, I'll keep saying, any parts or whatever else you need from us, let us know. We want to try to live stream some of the basketball games while we're over there.
Yeah.
So we are looking to do that to where as though, hey, you'll see what's happening with boots on ground there. Also, we're already looking forward to our trip in 2024. One of the things that we're going to spearhead the Super Sports Media piece is going to do. And again, I just came up with this idea as far as, today, because I wanted to help you, is do a shoe drive.
Yeah.
And we want to do a shoe drive. We're going to, just try to, because every year you go, you take stuff with you.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to allow you to take some stuff with you to where as though, hey, we ship it or you carry on. It doesn't matter how we figure it out, but we're going to figure it out and also look for some other sponsors here, and not just San Antonio, but other parts of the United States, to where as though we can support your everything you're doing there, boots on ground, and here in between.
Awesome. Thank you so much. When it's our responsibility to help bring the next generation along, and I think where I come from in Liberia, being blessed with the opportunities, is a humbling experience, but it's also what's the word I'm looking for? It's a humbling experience, but it also obligates me to give back. Okay, I have a responsibility, as do many of us, to give back. We can't sit there and watch our young people grow and be subjected to just abject poverty. So we got to reach out, step out, and grab one person and make a difference in their life. So I'm committed to that. I'm thankful that you are as well. But I'm calling on more people. If you're interested, put your hands in this pot. Let's make our world a better place.
Well, hey, thank you for that part. We can't leave without you dropping some words of wisdom on us.
What am I going to say today?
I don't know. What we got?
So in line with what we talk about is one of the things that we had a conversation today about a situation that was not ideal. And we're not going to get into the details, but it disturbed me, it disturbed you. I think how we counter that is by just understanding that our contributions, our services, all right, that we give out is in direct proportion to our rewards. All right? What do I mean by that? You've done your military service. I've done my military service. You got your day gig. I got my day gig. But in the evening, our hands are not idle. We are involved in giving back. We're helping kids using gifts and things that we are blessed with. So by doing so, you get that reward at the end. And if you are not happy with where you at, change the things you do. All right, because your contribution is in direct proportion to your reward. And this is applicable to all people. So what do I mean? If you're in a job that's not paying you sufficiently, maybe you need to develop yourself more, increase your service delivery. If you are playing on a basketball team and you're not getting enough playing time, in your opinion, work harder, be a better person. There's always something that ties back to you, because the Bible says that in Ecclesiastes 11 verse 6, that says that in the morning go to work and in the nighttime let not your hands be idle, because you don't know which one is going to bear fruit, whether it's the morning job or the evening work. And sometimes both of them, we want to get to where both are making, giving us some return. So even if you're an athlete, you go to school in the morning, what do you do at night? You work on your game. And after that, what do? You read, you do everything, make the world a library to your destination. The things that you are interested in. You want to be a basketball superstar? Then everything you absorb from around you should be filtered towards that. So that's such as life. So your reward is in direct proportion to your services and your contribution. I hope people embrace that. Thank you for this evening.
Thank you again, and see you soon.
Yeah.